here at Notre Dame Stadium. Both teams are 1-2. Duke's lone win over North Carolina Central, an FBS team. The Irish unranked for the first time this year. 1-2 for the first time since 2011. A rarely played get-together, just the fifth meeting between these teams. Brian Kelly's team trying to get back to 500. And here come the Irish. The guys from the ACC and Durham, North Carolina make their way down the tunnel. The Duke Blue Devils. It's a Duke team with David Cutcliffe as their head coach. David Cutcliffe was a guy hired, actually, to be the Notre Dame offensive coordinator under Charlie Weiss, but he had to resign before ever coaching a game because of a heart issue. He then went back to Tennessee, where he made his name as an offensive coordinator, did a good job there with the Vols, and Duke hired him, a program that was way, way down, and boy, have they built. The last 3 years, 10 wins, then 9 wins, then 8 wins. Been to a bowl game the last 4 years. And in his second opportunity as a college football head coach, Cutcliffe will try to get the Blue Devils one of their biggest wins as they take the field here in South Bend. Jones, the redshirt freshman quarterback, just his fourth start. He's very young, but he has some good qualities, molding a quarterback of the future. We'll see how he does against Brian Kelly's team today. Coach Kelly standing by with Catherine Tappan.
Coach, you told us you want to be consistent and to play with a sense of urgency. What specifically are you looking for early on from your offense in this game?
Well, I think we've got every possession has got to mean something to us, and it seems like it takes us a while to get going. We've got to get off to a fast start, and we've got to keep that pressure on the defense all 4 quarters, not just when we're behind.
Defensively for your team, you guys worked on simplifying the game and getting back to fundamentals this week at practice. What were you trying to accomplish in doing so? Well,
obviously tackling is important to any good defense, but just getting it down to each series. Just win a series, and that's really all we want to do. Go series to series. Let's not think about big picture. Let's get back to winning each series.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Mike?
Okay, Catherine, thank you. With the Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie, simplify series to series, play with urgency. I'm hearing coach buzzwords a lot. As a player, what's Kelly trying to tell his team to do here today?
I think the sense of urgency issue is go out and play loose and fast. He's trying to simplify things so that his inexperienced players can put their feet in the ground and play fast and just be the athletes on the field.
And we talk about that on both sides of the ball. Defense, it's simplified. For the offense, we've mentioned it a few times. How can they make that early impact?
That sense of urgency comes when you just let loose and take off. Not just trying to execute each individual play one at a time. See a little bit of big picture in the drive and go get it. I think DeShone Kizer let loose. He'll get more aggressive that way and get going from the start.
When they got here, we had a chance to visit with David Cutcliffe and his young quarterback. You like what David Cutcliffe brings to the table and how he mentors quarterbacks.
Oh, absolutely. Just listening to him talk, play, have fun. He sounds like my old coach, Jack McNell. It allows you to be loose, like we were just talking about with Notre Dame. Go out and just play the game, have fun. Don't get so uptight. Now, great fundamentals in his quarterbacks, always, but have some fun while you're doing it.
And that's what Daniel Jones is going to try to do in this game and not play by the numbers as he did against Northwestern a week ago in the loss. So you have two teams that feel like they can be better, but kind of gotten in their own way a little bit. Try to find the winning way, and somebody gets back to 500 here in the next 3.5 hours in Notre Dame Stadium. The toss was won by Duke. They deferred, so the Irish will get the ball first. C.J. Sanders took it back to the house, except there was a holding penalty when that happened to start the game last week. This week, that kickoff hits at the 1, goes out of bounds. Or was it out of bounds or was it a touchback? It went on the opposite side of the pylon, so it's a touchback. And the Irish offense will take over at the 25-yard line. So here comes a Notre Dame offense that trying to pick up where they left off in the fourth quarter. Josh Adams, the running back, with Hunter, Sanders, Equinemius, St. Brown, 5, 6, and 4 catches in the first 3 games. Durham Smythe had a late touchdown against Michigan State last week. Quentin Nelson was awarded the #1 jersey, although he wears 56. He's an interior lineman. That #1 jersey that is rewarding a player for his on and off the field contributions, awarded to Nelson in his jersey as he took the field here today in 56. Now, Malik Zaire is in next to the quarterback. He's going to take the handoff to start the game. And the man who was the Irish backup quarterback and shared the role with DeShone Kizer in the Texas game, in here for the first snap, and he gains about 4 yards to the 29-yard line.
He's too good an athlete to just be standing on the sideline the entire season behind Kizer. And I think that's a great move by Kelly, getting him involved.
Malik struggled in those 3 series against Texas, played after the Nevada game was out of reach. It has been Kizer's job since. And now 2nd and 6 against this 4-2-5 Duke defense. And Kizer throwing sideline for St. Brown. That pass is broken up. Brian Fields, an academic all-ACC performer on the corner, knocked it away, and it'll be 3rd down.
Fields one-on-one in great position, reading the body language of the receiver, St. Brown, and turns and finds the ball. St. Brown has a height advantage, but Fields does an excellent job of getting his head turned, starting to reach back, and knocking the ball out of there. I like Notre Dame being aggressive, though, and going up downtown early in the game.
They put 3 receivers to the right for 3rd and 6. This Duke defense has to make up for the lack of size up front by bringing pressure. The crosser is St. Brown. 1st down, much more. Midfield, onto the Duke side of the field before Jordan Hayes makes the tackle at the 45. It's a 26-yard gain.
St. Brown right here coming underneath. He gets a little pick from Durham Smythe up the field. Little inadvertent bump, and underneath he goes. Out the back door. Big early 1st down for this Notre Dame offense to try to have that sense of urgency early in the game.
From the 45, a 1st down pass for Kizer across the middle, and Smythe, the tight end, has it. And holding on for reinforcements to bring him down. A gain of 18, and Notre Dame's offense is clicking from the start.
Boy, just a great job by Kizer stepping up, buying a little time, movement in the pockets, going to take a shot, and delivers a strike. It's Humphreys, 34, coming down on him with basically untouched up through the middle. He stepped up, made a nice throw.
They're doing exactly what you said they needed to do, Doug, on this opening drive. Now they'll run it with Adams to the left. He'll gain 2 yards. Ben Humphreys makes the tackle. 2nd time we've called Ben Humphreys. Why don't we meet the other 10 Duke Blue Devils playing defense? 4 up front. Danny Doyle gets the start, but A.J. Wolf is the veteran, experienced 5th-year senior. Humphreys and Joe Giles Harris involved in a lot of tackles. They're always in nickel. Devon Edwards is the best player they have on defense. He can play anywhere in Division I. Such a strong player for this Duke team. Without DeAndre Singleton, by the way, another starting safety, targeting foul in the last game, out for the 1st half of this one. Kizer over the middle, St. Brown. It's a couple of times this year we've seen him reach out, grab it with his hands. 1st and goal, Notre Dame, after a gain of 17.
St. Brown had a big window inside, man-to-man coverage, just breaks it across, wide open, and it all stemmed from a blitz, and that's why he was one-on-one on the outside.
Josh Adams, the back, 1st and goal. Kizer saw it, changed it, and will throw it. For the end zone, the coverage is good. It's out the back and into the drum section. Incomplete. Torrey Hunter Jr. with a little rhythm in the percussion area.
You know, there he took the ball and threw it away. You know, coverage on the play. But talking about sense of urgency, if this were late in the ball game and they were down by 20, he would have been scrambling, trying to make something happen. He had great protection. He had a chance to move around. Could have extended the play. Instead, he goes ahead, and it's a smart play, quarterbacking early in the game. But I think there's the difference in an urgent situation.
Second time in a row, he sees how Duke's lined up. He changes. The Blue Devils adjust to option. And the keeper. And Kizer's in the end zone for his 5th rushing touchdown of the season.
Kizer sees what's going on to the outside. He realizes there's only one overhang player, and that's going to be Hayes, 13. So he checks to the option and runs the option on the end. Basically, it's a defensive back, one-on-one. He makes the move up and walks into the end zone. And that is a recognition of front, of the defensive front.
Justin Yoon adds the Irish extra point. And that is exactly what Brian Kelly's spent 6 days talking about. How do we start fast? Let Kizer get going. 8 plays, 75 yards. Rushing touchdown from the quarterback. 7-0 Notre Dame. So Devon Edwards, speaking of spectacular, one of the best 6 career kickoff returns for touchdown. So let's see if Justin Yoon, who's been very good at directional kicking, can hem the outstanding Duke return man in. Kicking into a slight wind. That's where they want to kick it. Now what will Edwards do with it? Well covered by the Irish as he's brought down right around the 20-yard line. Chase Claypool, who's been good on special teams with the tackle. So here comes Duke with the offense. You saw Daniel Jones coming out. Jalate Duncan is his best back. Runs for nearly 200 yards this year. They'll play a lot of 3 receivers. And up front, Austin Davis is the steady man, the redshirt junior who has spearheaded this offensive line, the first-year center who has graded very well for this Duke offense. First down, and Jalate Duncan is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Also lost the ball on the way down. Daniel Jones is the quarterback, redshirt freshman out of Charlotte Latin High School. Really lifted that high school to 2 state title game appearances. Had figured on being the backup this year, but Thomas Sirk, the senior captain, re-injured his Achilles late this summer. So Jones became the starter. Out of his hands to T.J. Ramming, who runs into traffic and only gains 2 yards before Drew Tranquil out of the Irish secondary makes the stop.
Does a great job of reacting up and making the tackle, and that has been an emphasis this week for Notre Dame defense. Tackling, wrapping up, bringing people to the ground. Play fast, simplify the defense a little bit, and let the kids play fast.
The reason for all the points and yards allowed, in large part, missed tackles by the Irish. 3rd and 8 for Jones. Notre Dame brings pressure. Jones going to go deep downfield. Had a man open, but just one step away was T.J. Ramming. There's a penalty marker down, back by the quarterback.
Holding, offense, number 50, penalties decline. 4th down.
Austin Davis, the center, called for the flag. Riley Johnson, our ACC official. Doug, this was close.
T.J. Ramming, great release on Cole Luke. Boom to the outside and right by the best one-on-one defender on this Notre Dame defense, who had actually a rough week last week. And here's the hold. Basically a pull down.
Notre Dame brought some pressure. So 3 and out. Austin Parker, who has dropped 2 snaps this year. So catching the long snap is one of the important things. He gets that away and a good kick away as well. Sending Sanders back to the 25. He made a man miss, and now C.J. Sanders accelerates. Brought down at the 37-yard line. Xavier Carmichael with the tackle, but the Irish will have the ball in good field position. A perfect start for Kizer and company so far. 7-0 Irish. Disappointing for Duke as Devon Edwards, their captain, that great defensive player, great student as well, was injured on the opening kickoff return. He's being helped off with that left knee brace. Alonzo Saxton, the second junior, comes in to replace him as Kizer hands to Josh Adams, who runs to the right for 3 yards. Doug, we should point out Saxton, he's in, he's a backup. And Jordan Hayes for Duke, number 13, he's in. He's a backup as well because of the targeting penalty to DeAndre Singleton in the first half. So 2 of their 3 safeties are backup safeties.
And you're going against explosive wide receivers and a complicated offense to defend. Their backs are against the wall.
4 receivers, and they'll swing it out to the back. Josh Adams, who has the first down across midfield and into Duke territory at the 49. Gain of 12 for Adams, and this is a part of his game that is evolving, more of a receiver and in pass protection as well.
He's such a dynamic runner with the ball. We talk about him being a big back, runs a little bit upright, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield. The screen game, big time for him to be a complete back. You also, as you said, pick up the blitzes.
Good start for Kizer and the Irish. 9 yards of play out of the gate. Adams hit after gaining about 4 yards. He'll give him forward progress down to the 44-yard line. Ben Humphries with the first contact.
That's an area that Notre Dame is really focused on and getting this running game going. They were poor last week. 57 yards on 25 carries a week ago against a tough Michigan State front. They need to do better than that.
Adams gets the first 10 plays. Now Tarian Folston checks in next to the quarterback Kizer. Keep showing 2 linebackers on either side of the center. They'll drop them, bring the pressure from the edge, and Kizer's going deep. Got Stefferson, touchdown, Notre Dame. TD for KJ, Kevin Stefferson, 44 yards.
Stefferson down the bottom. Just running the post route. It's a blitz, so he's got no safety help. Safety's on the backside hash, and he just blows by McDuffie. Ball was perfectly thrown, full stride, didn't slow down. You can't throw it any better than that. Great blitz pickup as well to allow Kizer to just stand firm and deliver the ball.
Hune adds the extra point, 14-0 Notre Dame. Kevin Stefferson, player who enrolled in January, showed some good things in the spring, had a touchdown against Nevada, has a long ball of 44 yards here. 14-0 Notre Dame. Sean Wilson comes back to get the kickoff now, takes it over the 20, and a nice move in the open field, and look at him accelerate. Maybe a house call. Being chased is Wilson. He'll go the distance. Much needed touchdown for Duke. 96 yards. So you have a great kick returner. He's hurt. Wilson comes in and says, I can play the role as well.
Wilson, one of their 2 starting tailbacks that they alternate, is explosive out of the backfield, but he's shown on kick return. 1 missed tackle. Coleman has a shot, sidesteps that, and then re-accelerates. He came to a dead stop on that cut and then took off and pulled away from the Notre Dame defenders.
Wilson has been seeing most of the kickoffs. They've been kicking away from Devon Edwards during the season. He had 3 25-yarders and brings that one 96, 13 seconds after Notre Dame scores.
How would you like to be the Duke defense, though? You just had 2 long drives on you, and you're going right back out on the field. You'll take the 7 points or 6+.
Yeah, kicking has been an issue for Duke, but A.J. Reed, who missed an extra point earlier this season, adds that one.
On special teams, there's no excuse for missing a tackle. You should not be slowing down on a special team. So it should be full tilt.
C.J. Sanders saw Duke take one back. See what he does from the 9. Sanders up the middle of the field. Special teams going to be a little interesting here today.
It's going to be fun.
Right near the 33-yard line. And now his defense will try to make its first stop of the day as Tarian Folston carries for 4 yards. What do you like about him, Doug?
Number one, he's a great teacher of quarterbacks as far as mechanics and fundamentals, and he's always had great success. But I think part of that, and we talked to him just before kickoff today, he wants his quarterback to have fun. He's got the right approach. Keep you relaxed. Guys are loose, and just go play the game. And I love playing for a coach like that.
And he set that tone, both sides of the ball. His pedigree, of course, many of you know, was tutoring the Mannings when they were in college. Peyton at Tennessee as the offensive coordinator for the Vols, and then Eli at Ole Miss when Cutcliffe was the head coach of the Reds. 2nd and 5 here. Keeper by Kizer, and that defense stops. It's a gain of a yard. Ben Humphries made the tackle, and to the point about Cutcliffe, it was Ben Humphries who told us this week, that coach, he's the best in the nation, David Cutcliffe. Everyone in this program, starting with him, is looking out for you, and he's made a very profound impact on a lot of smart young men and figured out if we're going to have success at Duke, we've got to recruit the smart guys out there who are the best players and do the best job recruiting them. And that's one of the reasons he's been able to get this thing going in the right direction. 3rd and 4. Can they make a tackle on Torrey Hunter Jr.? They can. After a gain of just about 3 yards, Danny Doyle The 6'1" defensive end got over there to make the play. And Notre Dame, let's see if they'll go for it. No, they'll punt it on 4th down.
Not just 6'1", but 6'1", 215 as a defensive end. Just totally outmatched physically, but that causes issues now. You know, quickness, speed, be an athlete. That's my favorite. Just be an athlete. Go play the game.
And he's in there for Dominic McDonald, who has a shoulder injury, the starting Duke defensive end. You saw Ryan Smith back there ready for Tyler Newsome's punt. They got close, knocked him down, but there's no flag. It's fielded by Smith, who comes up the sideline and out of bounds. So Duke put the heat on Newsome, who got rid of it. The Blue Devils will take over at the 22-yard line. A confined area for the junior to get this kick off. He does. His own man bumps into him, thus no flag on Duke, and Blue Devil ball when we come back. We've been watching during the timeout. DeShone Kizer and Brian Kelly, they're having a conversation. We're back over at the grease board. We're drawing it up. We're trying to figure out, what are you seeing? What are you trying to say? We have to remember, it's only been 14 starts for Kizer. He's still in his development as a quarterback. Hard to believe. No sacks all season. That's why they're bringing pressure. Going deep for Ramming. This time they connect. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line for the first down. So Ramming beat Cole Luke on the last drive. They couldn't get it to him. This time he and Jones connect for 24.
Well, he's got Nick Coleman, and he gives him a little stutter and go and gets some width separation as well as downfield. There was a lot of room to drop this ball, and this kid is quick. He's got some shake to him, and even there, he's trying to turn it into a huge play.
Coleman beat on that play. He's out. Julian Love, the freshman, is in at the cornerback position, not the nickel. Fake the draw. Daniel Jones moves around the pocket, finds his tight end, Daniel Helm. Only a gain of 2 for Helm, a transfer from Tennessee. Tavon Coney made the tackle. Let's meet the rest of the Irish defense. Jerry Tillery, sophomore. He wants to be the first guy to get a sack for this front 4 unit. These are the 3 leading tacklers. Onwalu, Morgan in the middle, Coney who made the last play. The corners are under fire. We told you Coleman just came out. Luke was beat earlier, although the pass was not completed. Quick toss. Going to be hard to get a sack, like you said, Doug, with the ball coming out that quick again. Jones to Ramming. And the true freshman Julian Love made the tackle for Brian Van Gorder's Notre Dame defense.
I'll tell you what, the timing on the 3-step game for Duke, that ball is out. The quickness, he anticipates. You better just get your hands up on the defensive line, and maybe you'll tip something.
Third and 4, the Irish bringing a half dozen. The slant for Ramming. First down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. And Doug, you talked about it with Jones. He sees so much and gets it out quick.
Well, this is an individual route on the backside coming from the right of your screen, and it's a 1-step slant. Just beat Vaughn, the youngster in there. They're all getting playing time in the secondary now for Notre Dame.
Another true freshman. You're right, Dante Vaughn. One more time to the slant. And again, it is Ramming.
He loves these, what I call 3-by-1 formations. You're isolating a single receiver to one side of the field, so everything is clear cut. There's nothing underneath it. He's one-on-one with the defender, and Ramming is just so quick. Those slants and hitches, and you're afraid of his speed deep.
In the red zone, first down, run up the middle, delayed Duncan in the house, and Duke an extra point from a tie game. The redshirt senior from Charlotte up the middle on the defense, and Brian Van Gorder continues to wonder, why is there nobody there?
Right side of the line, 79 Stone, 71 Blazer. Just a great job getting on there, guys, covering them up. And you talk about run fits, a wide open gap, and it was Studstill who was unblocked, but in an outside position and not able to fill the gap.
That's what we saw in the 75-yard touchdown run by Michigan State last week. A.J. Reed makes the extra point. It looked like it was going to be a long day for the Dukies. 6 minutes in, they were down 14-0. 5.5 minutes later, they've tied the game. 14-all here in South Bend. Battle defensive coordinator Brian Van Gorder has the green hat on. Brian Kelly, the head coach, is in that defensive huddle. And a lot of folks were wondering, with all the issues for Notre Dame on the defensive side, Coach Kelly, who does such a great job with the offense, will he get more involved on the defensive side? He wants to know why the run fit was not there, and that untouched touchdown happened. Off in the hands of Chris Fink. He moves up the middle to the 35-yard line. Kizer takes over at the 35. Will keep it this time on the zone read. Put his head down and gain nearly 6 yards to the 41-yard line. Doug, he's not a finished product. And when he had the success at Texas, everyone was fast-forwarding DeShone Kizer. Maybe he's NFL caliber quarterback. Is he ready? I thought Brian Kelly said it best. Hey, tap the brakes. 14 games started for number 14 before today. Well, let's not put him in the league just yet. He's got plenty of growth to still do.
But he does so many things well. You don't want to shortchange him. But, yeah, there's a lot of learning still to come.
Moves the pocket on 2nd and 4. He's got that great arm. And he's got a first down and much more with Torrey. Hunter Jr. inside the Duke 35 and shuts it down at the 32. Big pickup of 28 to move the chain.
Boy, this all starts with pass protection. It's a half roll to the right, setting up behind his offensive lineman. It takes his time so that Torrey Hunter can slide back to the inside and uncover in his zone defense and get open back towards the middle of the field. And so far, the Notre Dame offensive line has picked up all the blitzes.
So it's first down for the Irish at the 21, and Kizer comes left for 4 yards. At the 17-yard line, Brian Fields, the opposite corner, made the tackle.
I will say this, that Kizer has had all day to throw the football. He really is comfortable standing in the pocket. He knows he's protected right now and just allowing routes to uncover.
Darian Folston, the running back, he's got it coming from the left. That was read from the start, even though he got knocked down at the end. Alonzo Saxton, who's in because of the Devon Edwards injury, was all over that play.
Saxton, I mean, it's a great read, runs through, and Folston puts an arm on him and just knocks him off, and then he bumps into McGlinchey and just gets decked. It's the little guy, all right? He's fighting.
5'11", 180. Nobody over 6 foot.
That's big. 5'11", 180 is big.
That's right. Nobody over 6 foot in this Duke secondary. Duke lost its best defensive player, its best kickoff return man to an injury, but the Blue Devils have found their way back. Here's the pressure. It's picked up as Kizer flips it incomplete. Intended for Equinemius St. Brown. I mentioned the first pressure was picked up, but secondary rush, Doug didn't let Kizer set his feet to throw.
Alonzo Saxton came from depth and was picked up late by Quentin Nelson. Pops across and gets a good pickup, but Kizer can't set his feet and is inaccurate with the throw. So pressure paid off there. Maybe they don't get the sack, but they got enough pressure to force him to get rid of the ball quickly.
And do it, like you said, with that speed from the small guys in the secondary. From 42 yards, Justin Yoon. Out of the Montgomery Van Gorder hold. Oh, off the edge, almost getting there. That kicks wide right. And no good. So Notre Dame looked like they were going to have the ball inside the 10.
No good, and that is the end of the first quarter.
I think they have the ball inside the 10-yard line. Stefferson fumbled, got on it, but Duke comes up with a couple of plays, and Yoon pushes it to the right from the 42. All tied at 14 after 1. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. And Brian Kelly's had to answer a lot of questions about the defense and the numbers that they have been yielding here. 4 ranks out of the 128 schools that are ranked in the FBS. Almost 200 rushing yards, 440 yards a game, 32 points allowed. No sack, no forced fumbles, not even that the opposing offense recovered themselves. They have not been able to find impact, game-changing players on the defensive side of the ball. Jones did so well early on in camp. He won this job and shown it here. Good run on the edge by Sean Wilson, who's taken towards the sideline at the 33-yard line. I want to go back a little bit into David Cutcliffe's football life. He was with Peyton Manning at Tennessee, the offensive coordinator, and I mentioned he was with Eli when he was the head coach at Ole Miss. If Archie Manning sends his 2 sons to have you be the college tutor for them, there's a lot of respect right there. And you've seen it in the progress of those and the other quarterbacks that he's touched over the years. Catherine Tappan has more on the sideline. Catherine?
Well, David Cutcliffe has been preaching to his young quarterback about his 2.8 second rule. That's the amount of time that he believes a quarterback should take from receiving a snap to releasing the ball on a pass play. And he said Peyton and Eli Manning's mother, Olivia Manning, used to tell him that she wanted her boys' jerseys clean after every game. So that meant the quarterback had to get rid of the ball fast. He said Daniel Jones is improving week to week with this. He can get frustrated at times, but Cutcliffe told him, I'm a lot nicer than Notre Dame's defense, Mike.
Out of his hands quick here. Tap down the sideline for ramming. It was incomplete. The coverage was better that time. Julian Love, the freshman, stayed step for step with the receiver. And the Notre Dame defense responds to what Duke's defense did, both with 3 and outs. And Ramek's pointing back towards the sun, looking back towards that southwestern sky, and it was hard to see there.
I'll give him that. He had a half step. He had a half step, but a lot better coverage. Good relationship by Love on the fade route.
C.J. Sanders back for the Austin Parker punt. Again, it all begins with the catch. Key dropped last week against Northwestern. You see he kind of lets it into his body a little bit too. 45 yards, fair caught at the 20-yard line by Sanders. Halfway through the second quarter here. Notre Dame the first 14, Duke the next 14. And Doug, let's see if this Notre Dame team can just line up and run the ball. You would think that they'd be able to do that against Duke.
I really feel like they could line up and just throw the ball and walk it down the field, and they want to establish the run. They're lining up in 2 tight end sets now, last play and this play.
Oh, Kizer lost the snap. The ball is free. Joe Giles Harris dove in there. As they umpile them, it's a scramble down on the bottom. See who has it. Giles Harris, I believe it was 44, and Kizer arrived at about the same time.
Well, right away, Borders was running to the sideline saying Duke had the ball, so he thinks they have it.
And they do. Ben Humphreys, the other linebacker, along with Joe Giles Harris, got in there, and Humphreys comes away with it for the Blue Devils.
Well, Notre Dame's in a pistol formation, which is a short shotgun, and they want to try to run the option out of it. And Kizer's just rushing it a little bit, drops the snap. Actually, it was going to be just a straight handoff.
And it was my mistake, 34, not 44. Humphreys was the body that was in there and got it. And David Cutcliffe and his team's got the ball in great field position on the road. Again, reiterate what he told Catherine right before the game. A win here would be as big a win as their programs had to come to South Bend as 3 touchdown underdogs and beat Notre Dame. They're back in it as Jones fires towards the end zone. Touchdown! Quay Chambers brings it in. And Duke has scored 3 touchdowns in a row to take the lead on Notre Dame.
They've been running some quick passing game and quick screens out to the wide receivers. They pump this one. Settle, and Drew Tranquil happens to fall down spinning to chase, and it's a walk-in touchdown.
Quay Chambers, who was, as I mentioned, a scout team quarterback, nationally ranked as a good dual threat quarterback, was moved to wide receiver last year. No career receptions before this year. As the extra point is added by A.J. Reed. How about a place to get your first career collegiate touchdown reception in South Bend against the Irish? The field was short because Kizer mishandled a good snap. Humphreys the recovery. Duke up top. It's the current quarterback to a former quarterback. Notre Dame fans are stunned. Blue Devil fans are thinking, how about this? A stunned collection of 80,000 here at Notre Dame Stadium after the fumble by DeShone Kizer, the recovery by Ben Humphreys, the one-play touchdown shot to Quay Chambers, who covers this kickoff with his Duke team up 7. It is a short kick. Fink comes up to get it at the 20, and he's brought down hard at the 27-yard line. Those Duke players are having a joyous last hour or so. First down, Kizer. Stefferson caught at the 44. Devin Stefferson has a touchdown earlier, brought down to the 48-yard line by Jordan Hayes. Good solid pitch and catch of 21 yards.
Stefferson is out here one-on-one with probably one of the best athletes on Duke's team in Borders, and he takes it to the post, spins him around, and then comes to the outside. I mean, you've got to have time to throw this type of route, but that's great patience by a young receiver in running his route. 3-man rush.
Send 8 back. Kizer surveys, finds the middle, and Miles Boykin for the first down. Just near the 30-yard line. Good grab for Boykin of 20.
Here's Boykin, but the key is the slot receiver hooking up and drawing a defender in the middle, and there goes Boykin behind them. Again, with just a 3-man rush, all day to throw, stand in there. Actually, a free rusher coming over the edge. But with only a 3-man rush, the windows are small downfield. That opened up nicely.
After Boykin's first Notre Dame grab, a run up the middle with Adams. It's at the 25-yard line, and Danny Doyle, a 215-pound defensive end Doug told you about earlier, makes the tackle. Notre Dame, quick tempo, trying to get some momentum here, but a big hit on C.J. Sanders. Alonzo Saxton, playing for the injured Devon Edwards, closed right near the first down line.
Saxton just closing. And when you close on a guy that's an elusive runner, don't slow down. Go right at him and try to get to him before he has an opportunity to turn and square you up.
Just shy of the first down, 3rd and short. Notre Dame keeps tight formation and pounds forward with Adams. And Josh takes it to the 17-yard line. We saw the safety, Doug, there. Saxton, we mentioned he's the backup. They'll get DeAndre Singleton, their other starting safety, back at the start of the second half. Targeting penalty at the end of the Northwestern game last week is the reason he's not playing the first half here today. Folst in the back. Tarian left side for about 3 yards.
Again, Brian Kelly talked about having a sense of urgency and consistency from beginning to end. Notre Dame did start fast, had a few speed bumps. I would try to up-tempo it and let Kizer take control and just start slinging it around the field. Now they're down in the red zone.
Personnel issues here, getting Dexter Williams in the game for the first time here today, the sophomore running back. And on the read, he takes it from Kizer and turns upfield to the end zone and in. Dexter Williams with a touchdown. We're rushing on the field, sub at the very last second. We got there in time.
This is a strong run by Dexter Williams. He gets a block from Torrey Hunter out on the edge, but not a lot of help out there in the secondary, and 2 or 3 arm tackles. Humphreys, Hayes, that's strong running.
That's a guy getting on the field. As I said, he was running out there, a late personnel change. He came on the field ready to go and runs it in for 6. Movement up front as Yoon adds the extra point, and we are all tied. Sophomore from Winter Garden, Florida, Dexter Williams ties the game, 21 apiece. This campus in this town, South Bend, which is the southernmost bend of the St. Joseph River. That's why it is called South Bend, Indiana. I'll leave it at 21. This is a Duke offense that scored 14 against Wake Forest and 13 against Northwestern. So in 8 quarters against Wake and Northwestern, Wake's defense is pretty good. They combined for 27 points. They have 21 here against the Irish. But Notre Dame responds to tie the game. Kickoff return for Wilson. Brought one back to the house earlier. And it's going to be taken to the sideline by Yoon, the kicker, at the 30-yard line. On the edge goes Duncan. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tranquil's 5th tackle of the half after a gain of about a yard. It's an interesting looking quarterback in Jones. He fits the part. The size, the footwork, the way he gets the ball out. You like him.
Other than that last move he made, he runs well too. He really does. I mean, he knows what he's seeing and being very, I don't know, just sure of himself with the football.
There it is. Exactly what you were just talking about, Doug. Jonathan Lloyd, the catch. First down into Irish territory. Sure of himself, and he's on to the next play right away. 11-yard gain that time. Didn't even sniff a huddle. It's just right to the line. He looks over to the sideline. They're ready to roll. 44, Duncan breaks another missed Notre Dame tackle, and Duncan to the 32-yard line. Gain of 12.
Now, Duncan is a physical runner. There's no doubt about that. But Devon Coney's got to bring him down and does not. He just steps through it, pulls through, and Duke's lining up quickly. They've got confidence. They've got momentum. They're going to keep Notre Dame's defense on their heels.
Duncan out, Wilson in. Sean Wilson the fake. Daniel Jones up top, looking end zone, touchdown, Anthony Nash. He beat Cole Luke, and in a half, Duke has scored as many points as they had against Wake Forest and Northwestern combined in the last 2 games. It is a 32-yard touchdown. And the fans are chanting about Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator. Frustration throughout the program here. Extra point added by A.J. Reed, 28-21. Both teams exit through the north tunnel. Duke will head in there first. And the Irish will try to find the answers on the defensive side of the ball for this second half. Only 2 incompletions by Jones. Here's Catherine with David Cutcliffe.
Coach, you told us before the game you wanted to see your young freshman quarterback have fun out here. But how much fun are you having watching him lead this offense to halftime?
He's had a great week, and we're hoping for that result. I'm really proud of our team for coming back 14-0 down. And we just got to keep playing and having fun because they're a great football team. We've got to find a way to continue to have success.
You've held Notre Dame to 21 points on offense with 2 of your senior safeties out in this game in the first half. How have you been able to do it?
Guys are playing hard. We got people pitching in. We've got better backups than we've ever had, thank goodness. The program is kind of helping us there.
All right, Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Mike?
And like you said, Catherine, 2 senior safeties out. He gets one of them back. The player who was suspended for the first half, DeAndre Singleton, will return. 28-21 at the break. State Farm halftime reports coming up. Don't forget the halftime performance of the Notre Dame Band can be seen on NBCSports.com. Now to our NBC Sports studio and Liam McHugh and Dahani Jones. Gentlemen. And back on this campus, Notre Dame founded in 1842, enrollment of 12,000 with the undergrads and the grads, and right now all the students and the alums a little bit concerned that the Irish are going to fall to 1-3. They're in a 7-point hole. That one turnover changing a bit of the balance of Notre Dame having the edge in passing yards, total yards, and time of possession. It was a turnover at the 25-yard line that led to a Duke touchdown, and not represented in any of those numbers the 96-yard kickoff return by Sean Wilson when it was 14-0 that brought Duke into the game. Duke deferred to get the ball here in the second half, so Justin Yoon able to kick it away. A little bit of help from the wind, and we'll take it back to Sean Wilson from the 1. Wilson cuts it upfield. It was well covered. He's down at the 20-yard line. What's going on with Notre Dame at the half? Here's Catherine Tappan.
Well, Mike, Brian Kelly, usually not short with his words. He was very concise speaking to me just a moment ago. I said, what was the message you told your team at halftime? He said, step up. And when asked what the biggest challenge Duke was presenting to him, he said, basic football. Very, very concise with his words, guys. And as for right guard Colin McGovern, who limped off the field at the end of the first half, he will return here in the second. He received an IV at halftime. Mike?
Okay, Tap, thank you. That is very rare for Brian Kelly. Usually expansive with his words, but he's been very direct of what his frustrations were all week, and they were borne out in the first half. Run for a yard as Isaac Rochelle gets an arm on the leg of Sean Wilson, wouldn't let him go and brought him down.
Well, I'm sure his words were fiery in the locker room. This is not what he had anticipated. He was probably hoping this was a back-on-track week and gained some confidence. And now he lit a fire under this defense.
2nd and 9 for Daniel Jones. The redshirt freshman quarterback completes it to Anthony Nash, who had a touchdown at the end of that first half. Julian Love with a tackle. So Love was a nickel defender, 5th defensive back. He's now playing corner to start the second half.
And again, that's a one-on-one isolation on the backside, a little hitch route with your corner playing off. And Notre Dame's afraid to play press because they've gotten blown by a number of times.
Well, Love now moves to the nickel spot. Dante Vaughn, another true freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. He's the corner at the bottom of the screen on 3rd and 3. And the slant in front of Vaughn is caught for the first down by the 6'5" Nash. So good, Doug, on those slants into the short side of the field.
This is all timing because he's not open. Vaughn plays this well. He knows it's a slant. He's right on him. But the ball's there quicker. Right in the chest. Nice little catch in traffic by Nash. First down.
You impressed with the redshirt freshman and the way he gets the ball out decisively?
Absolutely. He knows what he's seeing in front of him, so he can be decisive in his decision making.
Keeper for the quarterback, Jones, not tackled. They missed the play with Sebastian coming down, couldn't tag him, and it turns into a good gain for the quarterback.
Well, Trombetti had a hold of him, spinning him around. He's on the left end here, coming off the edge. Closes down, plays it, wrap up, couldn't quite hold on. I mean, 6'5" is strong. Pull away, and Sebastian comes in as well.
First down, gain of 5, and this time the give is going to be a loss of a couple of yards as Jerron Jones makes a play. Jones is one of the few who's made an impact play on this Irish defense in the first portion of the season. He had the interception against Nevada that helped turn it around in that 25-point second quarter. That was the best quarter the Irish have played all year.
You have to have a bit of an edge to you to play defense. You've got to have a little nastiness and an attitude, and you just don't feel that right now from this Notre Dame front seven.
3rd and 6. The Irish are playing their backup safeties, Jalen Elliott, Avery Sebastian here. Dante Vaughn, the freshman on the corner. Inexperience back there, but the pass is broken up and incomplete. The one bit of experience, Cole Luke, the senior corner, able to break up the pass and force a punt.
Stride for stride. He's got an inside technique. Almost gets beat across the face, but he's right on Nash's tail. Makes a nice play on the ball in the air. He had deep help on that particular play, so he knew he could be aggressive and stay physical with the receiver.
Notre Dame's got to be careful. They don't have too many players in the field. They brought an extra one out. They had 12. They're trying to get covered up here. They were trying to stay in punt safe to avoid a fake as Austin Parker tries to pin the Irish inside the 10. It'll bounce back and be down at the 17-yard line. Parker does his job with a 32-yard kick that was all net. And the Notre Dame offense on the field trying to tie the game when we come back. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan with you here in South Bend. Rob Highland, our producer, Pierre Musa, our director, our outstanding Notre Dame on NBC team, watching the Irish try to dig out of a 7-point hole. Kizer eludes one blitz, pass is incomplete as he flipped it forward trying to get it to his running back Josh Adams and avoid the sack late.
Get a secondary blitz coming from deep. Totally unblocked, but runs right past Kizer. You got to come a little bit under control or zero in on him. Kizer steps through and then tries to continue to make a big play.
And Doug, remember it was very close to the knee down before he was able to shovel the ball out. Kobe Kwanzaa, freshman at Manchester, Connecticut. Highly decorated recruit took that. Now Kizer takes off. He saw the middle of the field open on the quarterback draw to the 40-yard line. Pick up from 23 and a first down before Alonzo Saxton brought him down.
Been waiting for this a little bit because he's had such great pass protection. And the coverage in the zones has been pretty good down the field. And Kaiser's been forcing it. Now it just opens up and he takes off. A few of these, and Duke's going to have to change their approach.
Most of the game, Ben Humphreys, that inside linebacker, has been in there. He was not. Kizer, late pressure comes. It's C.J. Sanders down the sideline. Sanders. Boy, you get the ball in his hands. The fun begins to the 30. Gain of 30. First down, Notre Dame.
Again, plenty of time to stand in the pocket and let it develop. McGlinchey on the left. Stone, number 68. Left tackle, solid as a rock. Just gives his quarterback all kinds of time. Waits for something to uncover, and C.J. Sanders comes open underneath.
2 big gains brings Notre Dame down here to the 30. Trying to drive and tie the game. On 1st and 10, Josh Adams to the left into the boundary. Good blocking by Boykin, the receiver. Gain of 15 to the 15. A.J. Wolf the tackle.
Well, that left side is the strength of this offensive line for Notre Dame. Quentin Nelson, number 56 at left guard. Right in here. Stays with this block. McGlinchey takes his man wide. Nelson does his deal. Up through. This is actually the same play they fumbled the snap on before, and this time they execute.
turn over the wide receiver group a little bit. I told you Boykin with the block. Corey Holmes is in the slot. On 1st and 10. On the zone read, Adams gained 6 to the 9-yard line. Longest run for Notre Dame came that Kizer scramble earlier, that quarterback draw, I should say, earlier, a 23-yard run.
You would anticipate, because of the physical advantage or size advantage in the offensive line, that Notre Dame would have been able to hammer the ball. They had the 13-yard run, and it took until a quarterback draw to have a big play in the run game.
4 for the first down, 9 for the touchdown. Duke brings pressure. Adams tries to turn the corner, and he does! Touchdown, Notre Dame! Some good wide receiver blocking on that drive. Brings the Irish to the end zone.
C.J. Sanders and Torrey Hunter Jr. both staying with their man all the way to the end zone. And a great drive at the end by Adams to finish it off.
Hunter on the edge, paving the way for Adams to take it in. 6 plays at 83 yards. And Justin Yoon ties this one at 28 apiece. He said, I need to be more aggressive as a running back this year. Find a way to take that 6'2" size and turn it into some power. Josh Adams does that and ties the game at 28. And here amongst the athletic buildings, the academic buildings at Notre Dame Stadium. Just a great setting. The way college football and college sports should be, all part of the campus community. See a lot of places around the country where you're looking for vacancies. You look over to the student section. Not here in South Bend. Student section full. They're trying to support their fellow students. Get to 500 on the season. Sean Wilson brought down at the 15-yard line. Dexter Williams, who ran for a touchdown earlier, with a special teams tackle there. To the 14-yard line, this Duke offense has stagnated a bit. In the third, Jalay Duncan with the carry, just shy of the 20-yard line. We talked about this program and the struggles they've had. What a win here would mean for Duke if they're able to find a way to win the fourth quarter and take a victory back to Durham. And that's what Cut's telling those guys.
Dave said it'd be the biggest win in our program's history.
He's reminding
That's
his
the
guys.
end of the third quarter. Time out.
With the score, Notre Dame 28, Duke 28. We're back to Notre Dame Stadium for the fourth after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. David Cutcliffe's team in 2013 was the Coastal champs of the ACC. Around that time, they started this run of getting true road wins. Go to somebody else's campus, a Power 5 program, and get the job done. And they've done it 13 times, up there with the big boys. Now, the asterisk for some, you'd point out that some of those wins were against the likes of teams having tough years at that point, at Wake Forest, at Syracuse, at Virginia. But it includes wins at North Carolina back in 2013, at Pittsburgh in double overtime. So there are some good wins along the way. This is a program that has rebuilt and has done it impressively. Quay Chambers on the sideline has a touchdown earlier, has a first down here. And Doug, that was almost like the reset button starting that fourth quarter. I watched that dude sideline a lot while we were away. You could see their energy, that this is what we dreamed of. We're at Notre Dame, it's the fourth quarter, and we're in it.
Tie ball game going in the fourth quarter. They'll take that any day of the week. And they've got an opportunity because they know how to move the football against this Notre Dame defense.
First down, Daniel Jones taking a shot downfield. That's out of bounds. The hat comes in because the receiver, Anthony Nash, was out of bounds. Devin Studstill was over there in coverage. We saw it go in a break with Cutcliffe encouraging his guys, and then the rest of the team. They were self-starters in this mode.
But it's a contrast to the two sidelines. Right now, the Notre Dame sideline is stagnant. They're standing there looking around, waiting for somebody to play or to make a play rather than going out and being the guy and creating the energy level.
Expectation and youth, the intersection of the two. Jalay Duncan, good job to make the first man miss. Duncan accelerates midfield and beyond for Duncan. They don't bring him down to the 41-yard line. Big gain of 31 for Jalay Duncan.
Big number 80.
Yards.
Daniel Helm comes pulling around, coming left to right. And then bouncing off the pile goes Duncan and off to the right. It just being more physical up front right now.
Duke has run for 168 yards here today. No place to go that time for Duncan. You know, of course, we think of Duke like Notre Dame, great academic institution. Both are in the top 15 of the most recent U.S. News and World Report survey of best academic schools in the country. But a basketball school, Coach K, the gold standard in the sport, all the national championships, all the great players that have come through at the collegiate level, that Duke program. But football is such a tough build because of the numbers you need to build success. 2nd and 10 for Jones. Behind and in Sebastian's hands if he would have been able to stop. But he was following Eric Schneider, who was the intended receiver. And a couple of incomplete passes sets up 3rd and 10.
This is just a misfire. Snyder beat him on the route inside, and the ball's behind. If he doesn't get a hand on it, Sebastian's intercepting that ball. That could have been a big play for Duke.
Again, Duke has not been a good field goal kicking team. From here, it's a 45-yarder. Might be 4-down territory for Cutcliffe. Third and 10. 7 Notre Dame defenders coming. The pass is complete and a yard short of the first down with Chambers. What a decision here. If you were sure about the field goal kicker, you'd take it and take the lead.
Great job of picking up the blitz. You're coming defensively. Your thought is Duncan sticks his nose in there and makes a block. Your thought is we're going to blitz, come up and tackle, but Duke is going to go for it on 4th down.
They've been gaining yards on the zone read. Jalay Duncan's the back. 4th and 1. Duncan's got it. And for the second time, Notre Dame's come up with a 4th and 1 stop today.
Isaac Rochelle got his nose in there and penetrated a gap and just stuffed the whole play up.
Well, had a penalty earlier in this half, was brought over to the sideline, deservedly admonished by his coach, making up for it by making a play, along with Jerry Tillery up front for Brian Van Gorder's Notre Dame defense. Sun setting on this Saturday here in South Bend. Josh Adams, the running back, as Notre Dame takes over at its own 19 after the 4th and 1 stop. And Adams lowers the pads and gains 5 yards. Marquise Price, the sophomore Duke defensive end, with the tackle.
But Notre Dame's jumping back into their 2 tight end formation. Well, now they're back out of it. But that's usually let's try to hammer the football for a little while formation.
Center judge comes in to give Duke time to adjust to the Irish sub. And the sub included the running back, Tarian Folston. Good job to avoid DeAndre Singleton's tackle and gain 4. It'll be 3rd and a yard. Need to remind you, if you're just joining us, the best defensive player for Duke, Devon Edwards, who's an elite-level kickoff return man, was injured in the first quarter. Left leg injury, looked like a knee. That's what was braced, as he couldn't put any weight on it, a non-contact injury. So they've been without their best kickoff return man, who's also their best safety, as they've tried to stop Notre Dame here this afternoon. Both backs in. That's Adams in motion for 3rd and 1. So Adams and Folston back there. Folston blocks. Adams gets the first down out to the 32-yard line.
Great pickup by Folston on a block there, but that's a mentality. Come out and run the ball 3 straight times, and we're going to get a first down is the mentality of Notre Dame. Folston does a great job picking up a guy running in the gap there and creates the first down. And also Josh Adams knows he just has to fall forward to make sure he gets that first down.
Kizer had a good start, slowed down a little bit, 18 of 29, but he has thrown for 300 yards in this one. Adams up the middle for about 3. A.J. Wolf, the tackle. As we dive under 10 minutes here in regulation.
This has the feel that Kelly wanted to try to come out and establish that we're going to be more physical and just hammer this football down the field. 2nd and 7. This is a pivotal play. This is one where now he may get away from that.
Dexter Williams is sent out, so it's 5 wide for Kizer. Gets it to C.J. Sanders. Has some space in the block. Sanders accelerates across midfield. Chased across the field by Ben Humphries, but it's a first down with C.J. Sanders and a gain of 27.
Boy, Durham Smythe out on the outside getting the block, and Torrey Hunter down the field getting the block. Get the ball out quick, and C.J. Sanders, I'll tell you what, Torrey Hunter did a great job staying on his block down the field, number 16. On borders of great athlete in space.
Irish closing in on 500 yards of total offense here. A couple of turnovers and a kickoff return by Duke. The reason it's a tie game. Kizer decides to keep. Ben Humphries the tackle, but DeShone Kizer with a good first down run to the 31-yard line.
It's almost when the game gets to critical situations is when Kizer decides to start really thinking about keeping the ball in these reads. Here he makes that decision at the mesh point.
Going with good tempo. Kizer on the edge with a ton of room inside the 20. Brought down at the 14-yard line. But Notre Dame in the red zone and really imposing their will up front as this second half goes along.
It's amazing when the game gets on the line, Kizer starts to turn it up and try to take some on his own shoulder, more on his own shoulders.
He gained 17 there. Dexter Williams getting more snaps in this game. Remains the running back. A little confusion there. Williams on the edge. A lot of white shirts for Duke. Gain is 2, Doug.
I think this is intentional. I think it's like a freeze option. Kind of the old freeze option. Little pivot, little freeze, get somebody to close down on the outside and then pitch it out wide and let Dexter go. Dexter Williams didn't have a lot of room to work.
You seen that from Notre Dame this year?
Never.
Yeah,
no, that's brand new there. Oh, we got formation to the boundary. Trying to do something out here to the field.
2 receivers to that short side of the field. Kizer's looking towards St. Brown on the wide side. He's got it for the touchdown. Notre Dame leads with Equanimous St. Brown in the end zone.
What a placement for the ball over the outside shoulder. St. Brown has to do a 180 and spin over his left shoulder to find the ball. He goes in expecting on his inside shoulder. No, it's outside shoulder. I'll go get it. You know what? That even may have been intentional because I saw them do that in practice the other day. Throw it over the wrong shoulder and him go find it.
That's just the second pass of that drive. They ran it down the field and set that up with formation. And a couple of plays they had not shown to that point. Yoon adds the extra point, and Notre Dame has scored the last 14. They've scored the only 14 points of this second half. Equanimous St. Brown, the emerging star of this Irish defense, in the end zone one more time. And Notre Dame back on top at home. Well, the mood has changed in this historic oval in the last 40 minutes or so. Irish run a 7-point hole to Duke, but they've come back to tie it. Now take the lead with that touchdown, 35-28. And Duke will start from their own 25 as Sean Wilson makes the prudent choice to take a knee. We'll see if the redshirt freshman quarterback can take him down the field and Daniel Jones can rally the Dukies and tie it up. Doug, you were salivating when that formation came out before the touchdown. Show me why.
Yeah, it was formation to the boundary, which puts 3 receivers into the short side of the field, which makes the safety go to this side of the field, leaving a lot of space over here one-on-one. All kinds of space to work your route and room to put the football.
Great touch and brought in by St. Brown, who's over 100 yards, 116 yards, and a touchdown. And St. Brown, who only had 1 catch last year, had 2 touchdowns in the Texas game, 1 touchdown against Michigan State, and gets 1 here. T.J. Ramming. He's the guy who does the underneath work for Duke. He gains 7 before Tavon Coney brings him down with 7.5 remaining here in regulation.
He's elusive. If he gets in space, he's got the ability to take it the distance.
And criticism for this Irish defense: punt, interception, and turning it over on downs. The Duke scoring, or drives, I should say, for this second half. No scoring drives. But they gain a first down with Sean Wilson on the carry. Devin Studstill, the freshman safety from Florida, made the tackle.
Duke is not going to go away. They're pesky. They get the quick passing game. They've been able to run the ball effectively when necessary.
Inside of 7 minutes, it was kept by the quarterback, who finds Anthony Nash down the sideline. Nash is in bounds, and we're on to the doorstep of a tie game. Devin Studstill missed the tackle. It's 64 yards for Nash, tight roping the sideline, as Daniel Jones did a good job of deception.
Jones coming off the play fake, comes out off the zone read, and it is Julian Love crashing to try to make a play. Great job of reading the corner coming in. Dumps the ball over the top. Nash can run. He can flat out fly.
An extra point has been missed this season. All 3 field goals missed by A.J. Reed. So kicking hasn't been anything confident for Duke to tie the game. They do at 35. Stunning turn of events here in South Bend in less than a minute. We're back to tied. Like you said, Doug Flutie, they wouldn't go away. Anthony Nash, a late bloomer for this Duke offense, the game-tying touchdown.
Julian Love is playing corner. He reads run and crashes. If he's crashing, the safety has to help him out coming over the top. Great read by Jones. Dumps it. Bad angle by Studstill, and Nash is off and running. What a play. It's like basketball. 2-on-1. One defender, 2 offensive guys. He comes to me, I'm giving it to you. Nice reaction up over the top. Nash takes it down the sideline.
2-touchdown game for Nash. 10 touchdowns in the game, 5 each way. What a 4th start in the career of Jones. 272 yards, 3 touchdowns here in South Bend. Kickoff return, C.J. Sanders not going to get to the 15-yard line. Pulled down. Saxton, the safety, who's played a lot here today, was the first Duke special teamer there. His team jumped out to a 14-0 lead, now in a fight with 6:40 left and nowhere to go for Dexter Williams. Corbin McCarthy does the cleanup. Good penetration up front, starts it all.
A.J. Wolf penetrates, gets into the backfield, and disrupts the play, and then the rest of the troops come following. Great job of getting penetration across the face of McGovern.
Wolf, the son of an American shot putter, August Wolf, that's who AJ is named after. 4th in the '84 LA Olympics, missed a bronze medal by 1.5 inches. But his son AJ made quite a play there. 2nd and 13. Kizer, nowhere to go. Tries to elude the rush, and he's brought down. Back inside the 3 by Marquise Price. First sack for the sophomore, played a lot as a true freshman last year.
There was just nothing down the field. His initial read is not there. Initially, protection is excellent. Standing in the pocket, looking down the field. Got to maybe come down to a back in this situation, but he wants a big play upfield. He holds on to the football, and eventually Price gets to him. Now you just got to be careful and not turn it over in your own end with 5 minutes to go.
Sounds like Cameron Indoor Stadium over that far corner here. Let's go Duke from the Duke fans that have come here to South Bend. 3rd and 20. I'm going to lay back. They're going to bring pressure. Kizer from his own end zone just launches it, and it's intercepted. Would have had a punt anyway, so not a huge impact, but DeAndre Singleton comes down with it, and with 5:11 left, Duke has the ball at the 45-yard line of the Irish with a chance to take the lead.
He really wants to take a shot down the field, and I believe it was Josh Adams running down the sideline, but there's a blitz coming from the right side. Good job feeling it, decent pickup, drifts to his left, and he's going to unload it deep. Thought he was putting it in a safe spot. He's drifting to his left to avoid rush, but there was nothing there down the field. Adams is going up the boundary. That's the ball he's trying to throw, and it just isn't going to happen. Throw that thing out of bounds. What are you doing?
He wants to know why he put it up for grabs. And the pressure came from the opposite side, and Brian Kelly's over there. A talk with Kizer, who's been in the middle of a couple of these 3 turnovers, and now Jaleel Duncan is the back. Duke tries to take the lead. Duncan up the middle. Gets away from 1 tackle. He's brought down by the freshman Julian Love. Gain of 7 inside of 5 minutes when the next snap comes.
Well, that's impressive right there on 1st down to just run it right up the middle and pick up 7 yards.
Important moments for Kelly and the growth of his quarterback, Kizer. Meantime, the defense out there trying to find a way to stop this Duke offense. Dunk it over 100 yards now as they're at 108 with that carry that sets up 3rd and 2. I know Peyton Manning would be watching, the guy who helped him grow so much in David Cutcliffe. Peyton's over in China, but David Cutcliffe got a text on the way over to the stadium today from Peyton Manning, wishing him all the best, knowing what a win here would mean for the building of this Duke program. 3rd and 2. Jones throws complete for the first down. His tight end, Eric Schneider, hanging on at the 30-yard line. 4:10 to go.
That is Duke's favorite route in crucial situations. On 3rd or 4th down, they will run what we call Y stick. Just a little 6-yard out, big body guy. Use your body position to be open. And a perfect placement of the ball. We wasn't open by a lot. Short throw, put it in a good spot, convert for first down on the edge of field goal range.
That Y is the letter designation for the tight end. You always hear X receiver, Z receiver. And Y is the tight end. And Schneider and Helm, 2 good ones that this team has.
He has one-on-one up top to the left.
From the 30 in a tie game, going that way. The big-bodied receiver Nash made a man miss. Almost got down the sideline again. Gain of 11 for the man who has 2 touchdowns today.
Been running this formation all day long, 3-by-1, isolated receiver one-on-one. Get the ball in his hands. Another missed tackle, barely tripped up.
Hey, Doug, for Duke, they need to think about touchdown here. Their field goal kicking's weak. They haven't made one. They've made all their extra points. They eschewed the opportunity to go for a field goal from 36 yards on the last 2 drives ago, I should say. Niles Morgan with the tackle as the carry from Jalate Duncan's going to take us inside of 3 minutes. A.J. Reed, the 3-star recruit, freshman. They had good kicking, too. Ross Martin was a terrific kicker, most prolific in Duke history. He graduated, turned it over to Reed. Missed an extra point after the 2nd touchdown against Northwestern. Has missed from 30 and 34 and 43 yards this year. 2nd and 7 with Duncan. Got out of a tackle. Duncan still going. Got the first down to the 6-yard line. He got pulled down, and he is banged up.
He just
that left leg.
Keeps the legs pumping. In traffic, everyone's on their block. No one's really free, but hands are grabbing and pulling, and he just keeps trying to step out of it. This was a formation and a play that normally earlier in the game, Duke would have checked to throw a fade route on the one-on-one matchup on the outside. But in this situation, they're trusting the power running game to stay in position for a field goal and maybe eat up this clock.
And Daniel Jones, the quarterback, gives it to him, running inside to the 3-yard line. Jalen Elliott, the freshman safety, comes in to make the stop, and Brian Kelly will take the timeout here.
Timeout. Notre Dame, 2nd charge of the half. Please reset the game clock to 2:19. 2:19 on the game clock.
If you're going to throw the ball at all, it's here on 2nd down play action, if you want to throw the ball.
Duncan back in at running back for Duke. He's got it. Duncan inside. The Irish defense would not open the door. It'll be 3rd and goal. Brian Kelly takes his final time out here with 2:16 to go. So much conversation and reinforcement. Pierre Moussa, our director, got a great shot at Corbin McCarthy, the senior safety for Duke, who was talking to the kicker. You know, usually they say kickers leave him alone, go talk to him. He was talking to the freshman A.J. Reed. These are smart young men building confidence. David Cutcliffe's team trying to get in the end zone. 3rd and goal from the 3 in a tie game. It is kept by Jones at the 1, spinning, grinding. He's stopped short of the goal line. His forward progress is at the 1-yard line. They can let the clock run down here to go kick the short field goal. They have failed twice on 4th and 1.
It was Tavon Coney who made a nice stick. I mean, there was a crease, and it appeared like he may be getting in the end zone, and Coney stoned him at the 1.
Again, that timeout that Notre Dame had to use when they had 12 men on the field allows David Cutcliffe to take 40 extra seconds off the clock here. It's a team effort. It's Thomas Hennessy, the snapper. Danny Sturt, who's also a kicker, is the holder. The freshman from Prattville, Alabama, A.J. Reed, for his first career field goal to give Duke the lead at Notre Dame. He got it. And the Blue Devils lead by 3.
1:24, no timeouts. Clock stops on first downs in college football. Plenty of time to get in field goal range.
If this holds up, A.J. Reed will have a story to tell forever of the first field goal he made in college.
First field goal he made in college. That's stepping up and just striking the ball. Go through your fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me he wasn't nervous about that kick.
After missing 3 field goals, all relatively short in distance.
How about that?
Here is the kickoff. What will be the field position? Great hang time on this kick, too. Best of the day. Sanders, not much room, but he made a couple of men miss. Gets out to the 25-yard line. So when David Cutcliffe got here, Catherine Tappan spoke to him and asked him what it would mean for his team to get this win in this place.
Well, this is the biggest and oldest stage in college football history. So what an opportunity. Now, they don't come easy here. A great football team, a lot of talent, but this would be probably the best win we have had yet as a program, no question.
Well, they're a minute 19 away from it. Notre Dame is 74 yards away from a game-winning touchdown or a Justin Yoon field goal to tie this one.
Throw the ball past the first down markers, near the sideline, and away from number 31.
31, Breon Borders is the best defender for Duke. Can DeShone Kizer pull it off? Pressure on first down. Kizer fires wide side. It's complete. Held on to as Torrey Hunter Jr. is taken out of bounds by Borders.
Boy, he throws a wide side out in front of Borders. Nice delivery. That was blitz, straight man coverage. Borders was playing off. Very nice start to a drive.
Gain of 11. Yoon's kicked a 39-yarder this year. His longest career kick is a 52-yarder. Minimal win to impact a field goal attempt to tie. If we get down near the 35 for Yoon.
Pressure again by Duke.
Kizer rolled away from it. He throws. It is incomplete. Try to get it to Hunter with Borders following him on that wide side.
Great job by Kizer. He felt the blitz coming from the left. Checked to a little sprint out to the right. He misfired on the throw. But incompletions are not bad in a 2-minute drive. But very little time off the clock. 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever. Quick throw, no big deal. But your completions have to get out of bounds or past the first down marker.
Irish trying to avoid a 1-3 start. And they go on the road the next 2 weeks. St. Brown in short motion. Kizer surveys, throws it up over St. Brown and incomplete. Trying to put touch on it because he saw the safety sitting back there. Fields was the corner in coverage.
A great feel by DeShone Kizer, buying time, waiting, feeling it. And St. Brown finally uncovers out the back door. And I think he mistimed his jump. He could have run through this ball potentially. And then also, Kizer stepped up through the pocket. He might have had a lane to take off and run.
Both teams 5 touchdowns. Both teams over 500 yards.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it has. This is the 73rd play for Notre Dame. Duke's run 73. A field goal difference here. 3rd and 10. Here comes the pressure. Kizer flushed, escapes, fires, caught, but tackled short of the first down is Adams. The clock will continue to run inside a minute. Must make on 4th down. Ball's at the 44. They need to get to the 48. Everybody lined up. Notre Dame's got to have it here or Duke will win. Kizer throws. Incomplete. Incomplete. And the Duke Blue Devils, a 3-touchdown underdog, will come into South Bend and stun the Irish. It's a lot of pieces to put back together for this Notre Dame team. And a lot of joy heading back to Durham, North Carolina. They put a whole bunch of money into the facility, and David Cutcliffe, that staff, like I said, has followed him a couple of different places. He brought the whole band back together. And Daniel Jones going to want to get that ball from the official and keep it. And he'll go someplace on that beautiful campus in Durham.
Just amazing job of making plays, big plays, scheming, and then hanging in there.
By taking a knee, Duke just dumped under 500 yards to 498. They forced 3 turnovers. They committed 1 penalty. They did everything they had to do. And Brian Kelly's education and conversation with DeShone Kizer continues as now he'll seek out David Cutcliffe. The Duke Blue Devils, 38. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 35. And for this Notre Dame team, a season of hope and great promise and terrific offensive talent. Now they are 1-3 and heading down the road for a couple of games. One a neutral site game in New Jersey against Syracuse, and then to North Carolina State. Duke's the one going back to Tobacco Road with a big smile. Here's Catherine with their coach, David Cutcliffe.
Yes, Mike, their coach and their star quarterback in this one, Daniel Jones. Coach, let me start with you. You told me before the game how significant this win would be for your program. Now that you've solidified the win, how proud are you of your team?
Well, I'm looking at them over there with that visiting crowd, and this is a new era of Duke football. This is a huge opportunity for us moving forward now.
Daniel, a redshirt freshman, you're making your 4th career start here. What was it like coming into this stadium and being able to control this offense?
Well, it was awesome, and just for 60 minutes we fought as hard as we possibly could, and that was our mindset coming in, and obviously the win feels great, so really happy.
You're down 2 scores in the first half. You lose one of your best defensive players. You come in as the underdog. What allowed you to get this win today?
I think our program, our young people, and I tell them all, they are the program. And I think our program is strong because of the quality of the young people we've got. We're all crushed about Devon Edwards. Looks like a knee. So now we've lost Thomas Sirk and Devon, but we're resilient. We'll fight through this.
Daniel, your coach told us he just wanted you to have fun out there, did you?
Oh, it was a blast out there. Enjoyed every second of it.
All right, congratulations. Enjoy the trip back to North Carolina. Mike?
Well, Catherine, thank you very much. Don't think anybody who walked in this stadium today not wearing the Duke shade of blue thought they would see that. For our entire great Notre Dame on NBC crew, Mike Tirico saying so long from South Bend. Duke pulls a shocker. Thanks for spending this Notre Dame Saturday with us on NBC.